So there was no meeting
No.
of what's going to happen with you guys?
No, I had to figure everything out by myself. I used to love the ones that had big piece because we would cut it and make 4 pieces.
Sure.
And I had to remind him, as harsh as it was, you do not have a mother. Your father does not want you. And if it didn't happen to me, who then?
Sure.
Yeah. And he always says, I'm grateful that I lost a mother because I gained Jesus.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Phenomenal Motherhood, where we discover, discuss, debunk, and celebrate motherhood.
Motherhood has different faces. In as much as our motherhood journeys are similar, they are also different based on different situations. On today's episode of Phenomenal Motherhood, I am joined by Ndivhuho Munangiwa, aka Ndivhu T, okay? And she's the mother of 4 boys, 2 biological kids, and 2 adopted children. Welcome to Phenomenal Motherhood, Ndivhu.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Now, before we dive into the gist of the story of today, right, I first want to understand, who is Ndivhu? Where do you come from? Who are you?
Well, I'm a very simple girl. I grew up in Njerere, Tembarubiro.
Okay.
And my name is Ndivhuho Munangiwa. Well,
Okay.
Munangiwa is not my surname.
Okay.
But it is a name that was given to me by a teacher.
Oh,
after
okay.
seeing my situation.
Okay.
So she said your name is Munangiwa, which means the chosen one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful name. Beautiful name.
Thank you.
And how was it growing up? How was the family dynamics? How many siblings do you have?
I always say, if you watch Nigerians movies, that is my family.
Are you serious?
Loud, always fighting, ups and downs. That's exactly how my family was. I didn't grow up with a father.
Okay.
My mother raised me as a single parent.
Okay.
But obviously, you know, as in Venda, there will always be a grandmother, aunt, uncles, and all that.
Literally raised by a village.
Yes, I was raised by the village. Now, it was not really good, but I guess I'm a living testimony.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you know, like both of us are Venda girls, right? And most Venda families, they usually raise us to become wives, to become mothers. Was that also the same for you?
No.
Were you looking forward to be a wife and a mother one day?
My dream was, my mother used to get angry with this because visitors will come and ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'll say a housewife.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
From a young age?
From a very young age, from like 10 years, I would say I want to be a housewife.
Who inspired that though? Like, did you see maybe someone being a housewife and you're like, I want that life?
No, growing up, I never saw a wife and I never saw husband and wife. I grew up in a family wherein nobody was married. I was the first person to get married in my family.
Wow.
And I just wanted to be different. Like, I would even say to my mother, I want to be the opposite of you.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was me. Like, I chose a different path from what I was seeing growing up.
Okay.
Yeah, so having a family has always been a dream for me, and I'm glad that God listened because I got that.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
The dream. Okay.
Yeah.
So, how many siblings did you have?
We were 3.
Okay.
It was my older sister, me, and then my younger brother.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, tell me the relationship between yourself and your mother. How was it growing up with her?
I would say my mother was old-fashioned in a way that there's no relationship between a daughter and a mother. It's more like going to your mother, I want food, can I have clothes? But there's no, like,
Mommy, I've got a boyfriend.
yeah, no. No.
Yeah.
And besides that, she was working far from home. So she would come back on Fridays and then goes to work on Sundays.
Okay.
So the person that raised me, I would say, was my sister.
Okay, your elder sister.
My elder sister, yeah.
Okay. Now, years later, right, you unfortunately lose your mother, right? Do you want to talk about that a little bit? What happened?
With me, losing my mother was less painful than it was losing my sister.
Sure.
Because with my sister, it was like she was my mother. She's the one that raised me. So I felt more pain then in 2004 than in 2012 when I lost my mother. And with my mother, it's more like I and my mother, also my brother, we dream as, I don't know how to define it, but even with my mother, I saw her death like a year before, so we would talk about it, you know, because I remember even a month before the last time that I saw her, it was on a Good Friday, when I was leaving, she was
you were
like,
in varsity at the time when she passed?
Yeah, I was in varsity, I was 21.
Okay.
So she said, this is the last time that you're seeing me. I don't think I will survive now.
Was she not feeling well?
she was a sickly person. She was always sick, so we were used to that. And then I said, what? She said, I'm joking. But both of us knew because we had also spoken about her death before it happened.
Wow.
So I knew she was telling the truth, but both of us didn't want to
admit,
but
accept it,
because even 2 weeks before she died, I got a phone call that your mother is sick. This time is because she has always been sick, so it has never been that serious. So they were like, come back home.
Wow.
Then I knew it was serious. So when I was taking a bath, I was telling my husband, I was already married when I was 21.
Oh, so you got married while your mother was still alive?
I was 19.
Wow.
And nobody knew. Everybody knew after.
Did your mom ever get to know that you're married?
Yes.
Okay.
She did, and she accepted.
Story for another day.
Definitely. So I told my husband, I'm like, this is it. I will call you after 5 days, buy me 2 dresses. Then I will choose from those. The one that I will wear on the funeral. And he was like, okay, he knew about it. I had already told him.
Wow.
So even when I went home on a Friday, she passed away, and I had to be a bigger person.
Sure.
It's more like, when I say my mother prepared me for her death, we had already spoken about it. My child, immediately when I die, it's not time to cry. You go lock my room because of family dynamics, you know? Yeah, so immediately when I heard that my mother passed away, it was me, my aunt, and my grandmother, and my sister who was adopted by my mother. Okay. So my adopted sister is the one that cried. And then one of the elders that was there was like, why are you crying? Didn't you see this one coming? You know?
Sure.
And then immediately at that time, I remembered my mother's words that you get up, you lock the room. So I got up and I locked the room, and then the elders left the next day on Saturday. They left me, my adopted...
Your eldest sister?
The elders that were there, my grandmother, my aunt. So it was just me, my adopted sister, and my brother. Just the kids over the weekend who lost their mother.
Sure.
Yeah, and then come Monday, it was the day that I had to go and...
So there was no meeting
of
what's going to happen with you guys?
No, I had to figure everything out by myself.
So and you were in varsity at this time?
I was in varsity, yeah. So my husband came the next day. So he was the one that was driving me around. So on Monday, we had to go to the mortuary, the clinic's mortuary. And I got in alone, searching for my mother's corpse until I found it. And I remember that time I was, like, it came back to me, okay, what am I supposed to do with it? Do I carry it, put it in my husband's car? Like, I was just confused and thinking like a kid. But then I remembered that I've got an uncle, like Kosimnene. I don't know what to say it in English. Yeah.
Your dad's little brother?
No, he was married to my aunt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I called him because he has a mortuary.
Okay.
So I told him, Mom passed away, and then he brought the car to come fetch her.
Sure.
Yeah,
you
but
had to do everything on your own.
Yeah, but the whole week I didn't feel pain. For me, it was more of doing what needed to be done, and then I can then mourn after.
Did you mourn after?
I think I did.
Is it?
Yeah, because immediately after the funeral, there was no meeting. It was more of, where are you going after here? So I remember asking my husband, even though we had that conversation before, do you mind taking care of me and my little brother?
Sure.
And he said it's okay.
Are you serious?
So
was he working?
Yeah, he was. I think he was an intern. Yeah, he was still an intern then.
Wow.
Yeah, so we literally just packed my brother's bags and we left. And nobody asked where we were going.
Nobody? Your dad?
My dad was there, funny enough, at the funeral. And I remember him calling me, Ndivhu. Then he was just waving and then he was leaving after the funeral. Yeah, he left.
He didn't come and ask how... Nothing?
Nobody asked how I was.
And his family?
I don't know his family.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you never got to get to know your father's side of the family?
No, never.
Sure.
But my dad, he's still alive, and I've just accepted that I'm one of the children that he doesn't like.
Does he have other children?
A lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow, Ndivhu. How did you now... Okay, fine. So now you pack your bags, you come this side with your brother. And what about your adopted sister?
Luckily for her, she found an internship at Zambia, so we left her there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you pack your bags, you come to your husband's place with your brother, Pretoria, right? Where do you begin? Your husband is an intern. You have... How old was your brother at the time?
I think he was 12.
Sure.
Yeah.
He needs to go to school. How did you navigate everything? You are not working.
Yeah.
Literally, your husband, everything is on your husband.
It also started with the funeral, with where do you get the money to bury your mother. And my mother had a boyfriend who gave me some money, and my husband also had to get a loan. So also when we got this side, we thought schools like at home, government schools are free. But this side, it's not like that.
Not the same.
So he had to take another loan to take my brother to school.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. But after a year, luckily somebody told me that no, you could apply to be foster parent, something like that. And after that, he went to school for free, and he would get school uniform for free, and as well monthly he would get groceries for orphans.
Oh, okay.
So we would also survive on that while trying to patch up the loans and stuff.
Sure. Ndivhu, this sounds a lot, to be honest. I mean, you were only 21 at the time, right?
Yeah.
And you had to take all the load. No, I won't say load per se, because I mean, this is family, this is your brother.
Yeah.
Did he understand what was going on?
No, he was young. For him, it was because he used to come visit us before my mother passed away.
Okay.
And then it was a good life. Like he would come, we'd go mainland shopping. But then after my mom passed away with the loans and stuff, it was no longer the same. We were deep in debts, and he had to understand that he also needs to wear second-hand uniforms. Yeah, donated by some people at school. He has to get grocery at school so that we could also patch up. But I felt it was more of pressure or a burden on my husband's side, because he's the one that we're looking up to. He needs to make sure that we eat, everything. Yeah.
Sure. This sounds so hectic, guys. Let us know what you think down in the comment section, because I don't think I would have survived, to be honest. But I guess you never know until
you never know.
know.
Yeah, when you are in it, like also me, I only think of it like now when I'm talking about it, I'm like, yeah, that was hectic, eh? But when I was in there, it was me. I was in it. I didn't have to think about it or what I would do. I would have to do what I had to do. Like sometimes we would buy a bride pack for the whole month, which means I used to love the ones that had big piece, because we would cut it and make 4 pieces.
Sure.
Like every day it was a matter of figuring out how do we cook the chicken in a different way. Yeah.
So now your brother grows up, right? Do you now start, because I mean the older he gets, the older he realizes that no, you are his sister. Obviously he knows you're his sister.
Yeah.
Do you now sit down with him and explain to him that, look, mom passed away and this is the situation?
Immediately when
How's
we got
the conversation?
Yeah, immediately when we got to Pretoria, my brother was spoiled. My mother had spoiled him. And I remember the first time we saved money. I think it was 800 rand with my husband, so that we take him shopping, because the clothes that he had from home were now becoming small. So we took him to the Jet store. So we walked around. We could see he was annoyed, like what's happening? And we went shop to shop until we went back home with nothing. And then we sat him down, what's wrong? And then he said, no, I wanted sports scene, like those
the
brands and the stuff. And then we had to tell him, even my husband does not wear those things because he cannot afford it. So we are only providing him with the needs. And I had to remind him, as harsh as it was, you do not have a mother. Your father does not want you. We can only do so far. So the only option that you have is to get used to this and accept the situation as it is. Like literally every day I would tell him, we don't have a mother, we don't have a father. Our father does not want us. And because sometimes, when a child is saying, no, I want those things, I felt for my husband, who's only trying, because I didn't have money. Nobody had money. Nobody was calling to say, hey, Ndivhu,
here's some money.
When people call, it was more like, have you received the money for Chedeleba, for the retirement, whatever?
Oh, sure.
And we didn't get a cent. There was nothing. And they didn't get it. They didn't understand. At the same time, when we go home, we go with a different car. But that was because my husband was working for Ford Motor Company. So they would get cars, the latest cars. And they thought it was my mother's money.
Oh, yo.
They thought it was my mother's money. And there's nothing that we got. The only thing that we were left with was loans and debts to pay.
Sure.
Yeah.
How did you pay off the loans and the debts? I mean, you not working.
It got hectic.
Did you eventually get a job?
I tried. I got a job at Pep Store. I was a cleaner. I tried to do decor companies, breaking cakes. But you know how business, I used to sell wigs, those twist ones. I would make them.
Wow.
But still, it was less money. Like it couldn't help us with anything. I remember the other time, the banks will call, we're gonna garnish, we're gonna come take your furnitures, da 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 da. And somebody just advises that go under, what is that? Debt counseling? Yeah, so we went there. At least they reduced the debt by, I think, 6,000 or so. So we ended up paying less.
Okay.
Until my husband got a job this side in Joburg.
Okay.
And then he got the retirement money, and we were able to pay off all the debts.
Sure.
That's where in life started to become better, and I started a YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And things changed, right?
Yeah, things definitely changed for the better.
Okay, now I want to know, obviously now you had your own children, right? How was that for you? Because now you already have a firstborn, right?
Yeah.
That you're looking after. Do you now, your kids, when they're older, do you now sit them down and say, this is actually your uncle? How's the conversation like? Or do you just let them believe this is your elder brother?
So for the longest time, they believed he's the elder brother.
Are you serious?
Yeah, until last year, December, when we were having dinner on the table. And Theo, who's 8, he was 7 by then, he was like, Mommy, I don't think it's possible for Lucky to be our brother, because then that would mean you fell pregnant when you were 9. That was him doing calculations now. I was shocked. All of us were shocked. Like, Johnny, like, we thought we would have that conversation when he's like 12, 18. Yes, but we laughed it off until I think it was this year, January, where I had to then go fetch my sister's son.
Okay.
So I was like, do I lie again and say, this is
your
second older brother? Then I asked him, or what do you think like he comes from? And he said, I think like his mother and father didn't want him, and you took him in. And that broke my heart. That a child knows that there are parents that don't want their kids. I then explained, if it didn't happen to me, who then? Yeah. So the son today was more like a problem child who was using those things to get rid of the image. He's been dealing with it.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And it never goes away, because
it never goes away.
Sure.
Because even today he still talks about it, and sometimes you don't even have the right words to say to him. Yeah, but the only thing that I can teach him, that I was taught, was forgiveness. Forgiving those people was the best medicine for me, because it gave me peace. They didn't have to come and apologize and whatever, but I forgave them for me. Because even when they would call sometimes, no, you must love your sister's child. I wanted to say, but you killed his mother. What do you mean? Why aren't you loving him? Why are you now making it my problem in a way, you know? But now that they couldn't, he became something that they were not expecting. Now it has to become my problem. And I have to go to my husband again. And there's another person that I want us to take in. But I thank God that God blessed me with the right person, with the right partner who understands. He never, my husband never questions. Like I just told him, he already know about him. And he was like, it's fine. And the next day we drove to Venda, and I picked him up. I didn't tell anybody. I don't have a relationship with, I would say I don't have relatives, so there's nobody to communicate with. Yeah, so we just drove to Venda and we picked him up. Yeah.
Sure. Did he ask you to come and pick him up, or you just went?
He did.
Shame.
He once did last year when he was still in grade 12. He's like, because I asked him, how can I help you? Because sometimes when you are with a person from a distance, you can see they need help, but you don't necessarily, because I would give him money, but I knew that the money he was using it for the wrong things.
Okay.
So I asked him last year, what would you want me to do? He said, I would love for you to take me to rehab.
Oh, shame.
So I was like, that's fine. At least matriculate so that I don't mix up your life. Matriculate, and then we can talk about it. So this year was the right time for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow, Ndivhu. Then how do you introduce him to your family now? To his uncle as well, which is your first son?
Luckily for them, they did have a relationship. They also talked. Like whenever he would call me for money, he would also call him. And funny enough, he will give us the same excuse. Like, I want to buy shoes, please. you know. But they do have a very good relationship. They talk. Great. Like right now, they are roomies. They're sharing a room.
Yeah. And Ndivhu, like, how do you discipline 21-year-olds? Like, how do you navigate it? Because I can't even imagine Oh my goodness. I
thought it was hard, but I feel like God was preparing me with Lucky because I started being a mother to a 12-year-old.
Sure.
You know, before I could have my own kids. But a 12-year-old and a 21-year-old, there's totally different. And with him, he's taller than me, very tall. Like I have to look at him like this, you know. But he respects me for some reason. Like I was warned by many people, don't take him. You're gonna regret it. Don't take him. Yeah, I was warned. But for me, it was more of, the Bible says the best worship you can ever offer me is to take care of the widows and the orphans.
Yes, amen.
So I decided to take him. And he respects me. Whatever that he does, he would do it behind my back. You know, so I've never been in a position wherein I have to be very strict. It's a matter of just calling him. We love having conversations. Also with our younger boys, we prefer less shouting than to have a conversation so that we understand, why are you doing this?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, then we talk.
That's one of the parenting style that I also adopted with my kids, that I don't want to suppress and shout at them, because that only freaks you out, because I know how it feels like when someone is shouting at you, when you want to speak but you can't really voice out how you feel because you are being shouted at and you are being accused of things, you know. So I don't want to do the same for my children. And I think also it has like a long-term impact, because you grow up as an adult that can't really express yourself.
Definitely.
You know, you can't really stand up for yourself because you never were given a platform to. Everything, your feelings were always shut down.
Yeah, you were not allowed to. Like it's a matter
of disrespectful.
Yeah, even with how are you, my baby, you always have to say I'm fine. You can't say I'm not okay.
Yeah,
like it's like it's never okay. That's why I said when I grew up, my dream was that I wanted to be the opposite of what I was seeing. So also, like I used to say, I want my kids to confide in me whenever they even want to have sex. By condoms, I want to be
100%.
that mom.
I'm for it.
You know, because if I start shouting at them now, do you think you will come to me and say I want to have sex? He won't.
Never.
As much as I also didn't do it to my mom, they will also not do it to me.
Such a huge. Imagine mentioning sex to your parents when you're little. You know, and you know it's very important that, you know, as parents our kids need to know sex from us.
Definitely.
Because the streets is gonna teach them sex, and that's not gonna be nice. They'll teach them that, hey, go and do it. Don't use a condom. If you do it, you know, just do it sharp.
But if they hear it from the mother, you get to tell them everything, all the side effects and all that.
Yeah, sure. That's quite interesting. So do you have that open relationship with the 21-year-old boys?
Yeah, the 21. Remember, the Lucky is 21.
Okay.
The other one just turned 21 now. So, but I used to differentiate them with 21 and 20.
Okay.
So with the 21-year-old, we have that bond because we've been together since he was 12. So I'm more like a mother and a best friend. Like even when I want to confide in a person, I confide in him.
Wow.
Yeah. So we do have that relationship and we do talk about girlfriends and all.
That's nice. Does he have? So now you've got 4 boys.
I've got 4 boys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does he also confide in your, like, how's the relationship between him and your husband?
It's very good. With him, it's like he sees us as 2 different people. So he has conversations for him and Shudu, and he has conversations for me and him.
Okay.
So what he shares with me, he does not share with Shudu, and what he shares with Shudu, he doesn't share with me.
Okay, no, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I love that kind of relationship where you know this is what we talk about.
Yeah.
With this one, this is what we talk about.
Yeah. Also with money, he knows, mommy, I can get away with few 100 rands, but with daddy you have to explain. Like he calls me mom, he calls Shudu dad.
Are you serious?
Surprisingly,
Wow.
Like the time that he did it, I think he was 13, 14.
Did you tell him
like
to do
dad?
it? Or?
No, never.
Are you serious?
We didn't want him to be uncomfortable. I mean, imagine him calling me mommy, you know.
I'm trying to imagine my brother calling me mommy.
Yeah, like he said dad to Shudu, and we all went silent. So he then said, because I asked him, you are not forced, as I spoke to him, you are not forced to call him dad or to call me mom. And then he says he deserves it, and I'm happy that I've got a father. I can finally call somebody dad. So to him it was just that feeling of having somebody to call dad and mom, which you have never had. You know, so
wow,
they have that relationship.
Wow, that's really interesting. And I mean, I can't even imagine my brother calling me mom.
He calls me
like he would never. Okay, but I mean, situations are different, and I'm glad that you also didn't enforce him that, hey, you need to call me mom now. You know, I'm taking care of you. I'm sure he's done with matric, right? And what is he doing currently?
He's doing IT and he's doing his last year next year. Yeah.
Sure. How is the financial impact? Like taking care of 4 boys. How is it? How do you do it?
It was difficult back then, but now we are at a good place, I would say. Yeah, so we don't have financial struggles right now.
Thank
yeah,
God.
so we're good.
Thank God. Okay, so Ndivhu, I want to ask, do you ever regret adopting your brother?
Never.
And your sisters, your nephew?
I call them both my sons.
Yeah.
No, I have never regretted, and I always make sure that I ask my husband, do you regret? Is there something that you want us to change? Because I believe that it will also be very hard for him to come to me and say, I think we made a mistake. So I always make sure that I ask him and allow him a space to say what he wants and how he feels. And adopting Lucky was the best decision we've ever made.
Wow.
It was the best. And even when I ask him how he feels that we took him in, even though it was not, because we had to learn to be parent with him. We made so many mistakes with him. We were not perfect, And he always says, I'm grateful that I lost a mother because I gained Jesus.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, because
that is everything.
Yeah, he said he gained Jesus because with my mother believed in everything.
Yeah.
Like if you say let's go to church, we there. Sangoma, we everything.
We there.
Yeah, so to him it was like I lost a mother but I gained Jesus, which is more important. Yeah, so no, there are no regrets. And right now we do reap the benefits. I mean, he's doing very well for himself. He's got a business of his own.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, he does.
You did very well, Ndivhu.
Thank you so much. Like, sometimes I always say, people that say you've got parents, I don't have parents, we live different lives in a way that you've got option B. I don't have.
Yes, that's
for
true.
me. It's just this way or nothing. So it's more like I give it my all, or I just do. Like life doesn't give me that option to choose not to be strong or to be strong.
So you need to put your all in whatever you're doing because that's the only thing.
So right now, like as you asked, if I regret, and the answer is obviously no. Like he's doing very well for himself. If he's to come to us and ask for money, it will be, I need more money to take my girlfriend out because he has his own business. He's making his own money.
Wow.
And he made it to a point where I never thought he would.
Wow.
And I got to see that God is indeed the provider. And you just have to, like, it's unfortunate that when you're going through it, you feel like, God, just relieve me. Like, I want to be like other kids. But right now, having gone through what we went through, it was all worth it.
Wow. Do you feel like you've lost out in being a child because you had to grow up so quickly and become a mother? Do you feel like you there's something you didn't do when you were young that you want to do now?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Because funny enough, I became a mother to Lucky when I was 9. And like I said, she used to work far from home.
Oh, yes, you did.
So she would leave the child at home. And unfortunately, the elders that were home at that time would say to me, well, you said you wanted a child, so this is your baby.
Wow.
As a child, you would say, Mommy, I want a sister, I want a brother. Yeah, so I remember sometimes they would wake me up in the middle of the night and said, hey, I was 9. Your son is crying. I'll put him on my back and I would lie like this. Wake up at 5, bath him, take him to the neighbor's house so that they look after him for me. When I come back, I would then go fetch him and so Lucky has always been my son. Sure.
So you literally, did you even have a childhood?
I didn't have. I would watch my friends playing by the streets, carrying him at my back.
You're Ndivhu.
So right now, funny enough, I've got a very fun and funny family.
You do.
Hence, we play like kids.
Yeah.
For me, it's that kid.
They bring out the child in you.
Yeah.
I actually love. I'm gonna put your new family channel. I was laughing yesterday while I was watching.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are back on YouTube because you guys are really spirit mood lifters.
We try.
So I'm gonna put the name of your channel in the description box. Please check it out, guys.
Thank you.
You will not regret it.
Yeah.
So Ndivhu, what kind of support do you wish you had gotten right after your mother passed away?
Firstly, I would have just wished for somebody to ask me how I was feeling.
Sure.
Because nobody asked me. Everybody just expected me to get on with the program.
Sure.
I remember even when my mother's coffin came to the house a day before, and it was broken. and somebody was telling me, hey, the coffin is broken. I'm like, I don't care. The only thing that I want is to bury my mother. The rest, I don't care. I just wanted to bury my mother, and I would have want people to just be there for me. Not financially or anyhow, but just ask me how I'm doing. Don't you know? Family will say, "We're there for you, whatever you need."
Just words.
It's just words. It's exactly that. Wow. And it's funny that people now that they see me, how are you?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I am fine as you can see, but the time that I needed them the most, they were not there.
Wow.
Nobody was there.
Sure, Ndivhu. I'm really so sorry you went through that, but I feel like you are the person you are today because of what happened to you.
Definitely.
You wouldn't have been the Ndivhu T we know today had whatever happened to you not happened to you, right?
Yeah.
Wow. And I just want to know, how are you doing now? How is your beautiful family?
Isn't it evident?
Very evident,
well,
guys.
We're doing well. I mean, we have a very big family.
Yeah.
And we are happy. Financially, we are happy. Health-wise, we are happy. You name it. I feel God has wiped away our tears.
Wow.
And the only thing that we can do right now is to be happy. Sorry, because happiness is what we've always longed for.
Wow.
Yeah. So for now, it's just us being happy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happiness is what we've always longed for, and now we're just happy. Wow, Ndivhu.
Yeah, we just
That's
happy.
so deep, hey?
Yeah.
That's really deep. And I'm really, really happy that you are at a place where you guys are happy. You know, things are going so well for you guys. You deserve it. You really do. I hope you never get to a point where you're just like, do I really deserve this? No.
Sometimes I do, you know. Sometimes you suffer to a point wherein you feel like this is your destiny.
Sure.
Sometimes I wake up, when my mother passed away, the relatives took my mother's house, and I look at my house and I'm like, God blessed me with a triple of that house.
Wow.
You know,
that's God for you.
I look at it and I'm like, is this really us? Like sometimes even with my husband, we stand by the poolside and we cry because of where we come from.
Yeah.
There's a time that like he was sleeping on the floor because there was no bed. We couldn't afford a bed. We couldn't even afford a sponge, you know?
Ndivhu.
And the only day that we'll look forward to was like he coming back with the grocery from school.
Sure.
Yeah, but right now when he comes back, like you hear him from the hey Tando! he's loud. Like he will be screaming everybody's voice, and the only thing that we do is to play games. We love playing charade with kids and all that. So it's all fun right now. We just want to be happy, nothing more.
You know what I've just picked up from what you said is I had a conversation with my friend last night, and she was saying that, why is this thing not happening for me? Why is it not coming through? And I said, sometimes we go through challenges, right? Once that blessing comes, we will be able to, we will know how to keep it.
Yeah.
We'll know how to appreciate it.
Definitely.
And we'll know how to embrace it, because if it just comes like that, maybe at the time we are not spiritually prepared, we are not physically prepared, emotionally prepared. So we need to go through certain hardships for us to, you know, to get what is meant for us.
Definitely, because I also feel like when my mother passed away, she had already told me that I will get like more than 2 million rands from where she was working, and we had already planned for it with my husband. You know, unfortunately, we didn't get it. And looking back, I feel like had we received that money, we will be on I blew it. Definitely. So I feel like God has a way of channeling us to how he wants us to be. Because I always say there are kids that maybe like you, I don't know, you grow up primary, high school, tertiary, get married, have kids, you know, and then there are us who things just happen supernaturally. Like I went to varsity, but I've got nothing to show for it, because every time when it's exam time, I would faint. I had to be the one to congratulate my friends. Congratulations, you're getting married. Congratulations, you passed. Congratulations, you got your first job. And it was not my fault that I did not graduate. I studied like anybody else. But when I get to the exam room, I would faint.
Are you serious?
So I had to watch my friends getting what I wanted.
Sure. How did that make you feel?
It got to a point wherein I deactivated all my social media platforms, Facebook, not because I was jealous, but it was more of a reminder every day. You know, they have what I wanted. And sometimes you ask yourself, why? And I was one of the people that was defined as, hoyo yamakwana vyana munna. Like my degree was a husband. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I know that.
But that's because nobody knew what I went through in the exam room. Immediately when I hold a pen, it's done for me. It's blackout. You know. And for me, I didn't understand. Like I never understood why me. You know. But for me, hence I will always be grateful to. That's why I feel like a part of me feels like I don't deserve to be where I am.
You do.
Because it's something
stop
that
thinking like that. You do.
Yeah.
You do. If you didn't deserve it, you wouldn't have gotten what you have. Trust me.
Yeah,
you do.
Definitely.
You do.
Yeah. So
Ndivhu.
Yeah, it was that for me. But I'm happy that all things works out for the good for those who love the Lord.
Amen. Amen. And I just hope that everybody that's watching just takes out this thing that sometimes when I know it happens a lot when you go to varsity, people will be asking you, when are you graduating? Hey, this one has been in varsity for 10 years.
Yeah.
You don't know what people are going through because they don't share with you. But just be kind, guys. Like if you've got nothing nice to say, just keep it to yourself and don't say it at all because you don't know what people are going through. You don't.
Because I remember also there was a time wherein because the first year I would call my mother. I fainted and I would hear her voice breaking. And remember, I had an adopted sister. We were doing the same thing. So she would go home, come school holidays, we both go home, which is our home. And she had distinctions and I had nothing.
Sure.
And it was painful. It got to even a point wherein there was a time when I faked the results just to make my mother happy. Because I was tired of always saying, it also became more like an excuse. Like I didn't pass because I fainted. Like it was the usual. You know.
Sure.
So it was painful, and I mean the whole 4 years I was here and I had nothing to show for it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yo, that's a lot, guys. Let us know what you think in the comment section. I feel like it's a lot, and where you are today, you are meant to be here. You are meant to be there in the wood. Like, don't ever look at yourself and say, no, I don't. You deserve it.
Thank you.
You deserve it, and I'm really happy for you and your family. Okay, so if there's someone that's watching currently and they've just lost their parents and they've got siblings and they don't know where to start, they don't know what to do, what words of encouragement do you have for them?
I always say, I don't think there's better words that you can say to a person that has just lost a loved one, but just being there, tell them, like, just having somebody to say, I'm here for you, and they mean it. Not I'm here for you, they give you
just
hope,
for words,
and then they are not there. But I would say if you going through it, you have nobody, trust in God. When he says, I am the mother and the father to the fatherless, he means it. Mudzimu nditsengera tsiwana. Don't know how to say it in English. But yeah, Mudzimu nditsengera tsiwana, and I saw him with my life.
He's the defender of orphans.
Yeah. So for me, I feel just rely on him. Don't try to be strong when you want to cry. I never, like the whole week that I lost my mother, I didn't cry. And I remember people saying, but I always, I'm very good with shutting the door. You know, when you have went through a lot of pain, you kind of like know how to just shut the door of that pain. And then when you want to cry, then you'll cry. So allow yourself to go through it, mourn your loved ones, and trust in God. He doesn't disappoint, and he has never. Yeah,
it's evident. We can see it. Trust in God. I mean, Ndivhu, I'm really, really, really happy for you. I feel so honored to be listening to your story, and like my faith is grown stronger because of your story. And I just hope someone that's watching has received hope from your story. Someone that's watching has gotten, one thing or the other, because I've received a lot, even of how to parent children, how to parent boys, 4 boys for that matter.
Yeah.
Ndivhu, thank you so much for sharing your story. This has been an amazing time. And do you have any last words?
No, just trust in God.
Yeah.
Trust in God. A lot. It might not make sense today, but tomorrow it will make sense.
Okay, Ndivhu, thank you so much for coming through. But before we end this video, I want us to play a little game. Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am.
I'm sure you know it. You're a YouTuber. Never have I ever.
I know it.
It's not hectic. Don't worry. No?
Okay.
Do you want to start? Okay.
So do I? Okay. Do I read it out? Never have I ever used my kids as an excuse to cancel or turn down a date with a friend or friends.
I'm sorry.
Always.
I'm sorry, friends. I do. Like sometimes, like motherhood, I get so tired and I don't feel like going out. I just want to stay at home. Like, just want when they're sleeping, it's my me time. Like, I don't want anything. I'm just exhausted. So when friends are like, let's go for a drink, I'm just like, no, I'm taking my son somewhere. What?
Yeah, my son is not feeling well.
Yes. I always do.
And then you just want to lie on the couch and watch movies.
Exactly. Braless.
So, so I have.
Okay, the next one. Ooh. Never have I ever felt like going on a week vacation alone. I have.
Me too.
I have.
For me, vacation right now, it's going to the bathroom. Sometimes I even say I've got a diarrhea just so that I can
breathe
without anybody disturbing me. But funny enough, the boys always follow. Mommy, are you almost done? Yeah,
that's just how it is, guys. Like, that's why I say I need a vacation alone. Like recently, I told my husband, baby, I need to go on a vacation alone. He's like, but me.
You're like, do I bother you? Even if it just means vacation of sleeping.
Yes.
The whole day.
The whole weekend sleeping. Like,
I need it.
I need it.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Never have I ever started a secret channel.
I have, and because it's a secret, I'm not telling anybody what it is, okay?
We're gonna be asking for links very soon. I have, like YouTube is hard.
It is.
And sometimes it's, especially for me, if I was to start a channel and I'm thinking, what if it doesn't do well? I'd rather just do it, and I saw I started it and it's like 100 subscribers. I'm like, okay, I'm not telling anybody.
Yeah,
but I have so many. I'm sure I've got like 10 YouTube channels.
One day you'll know. When we've made it, one day
you will know. Definitely.
Okay, the next one is, never have I ever had a bad nanny or a helper.
I have.
I've never.
I have.
Is it?
Yeah, she was too strict
on the kids.
She was the best when it comes to cleaning, house tidy, but with the kids she couldn't play with the kids. And for me, my kids are a priority.
Absolutely.
If a child says let's go jump on the trampoline, if you are free, I expect you to go and jump with them. So I hire more of a nanny than a house maid. Okay. So there's one that I got, and the kids would say, can we go jump? She's like, for what?
Wow.
And even if you don't want to, you could say it politely.
Exactly.
I can't do it now, we'll play later.
No, I've never.
Lucky you.
Okay, the next one. Never have I ever regretted posting a video on YouTube.
Why are you doing this to me? I always do. Like if you check,
I have.
If you check videos that I did 2 years ago, they're not there. Like sometimes I feel like, especially, YouTube is very toxic.
It is.
And I feel like people have realized that bad or negative things sells, or they do better than positive things. So whatever you say, they always use that against you.
They do.
And I always say, if you don't want people to talk about it, don't post it.
Absolutely.
So for me, sometimes I post things and then I see somebody doing a video about it, I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have. Or sometimes I feel like there's a part of me that people shouldn't know about. Like I'm sure it's the first time that people hear that I've got a sister that passed away. I never talk about it.
You've never spoken about it.
Yeah, I've never. So I always regret when I did it.
I think also like having like a family channel also, like it's two person. People are weird.
They're very weird.
People are guys, like if you're watching and you're one of those people, please stop it. Like people are, when you're creating a YouTube channel, people are putting out content. People are putting out their hearts into YouTube and their work onto YouTube. It's what they love doing. If you come and say negative things, like, come on, man. Before you comment negative things, ask yourself, is it kind? Is it necessary? Is it your business? If not, don't comment or don't watch at all. If you feel like I don't like Sarame, don't watch at all, because I mean, why would you want to watch someone you don't even like?
But for them, like a part of me kind of like understand, maybe because I've got a gossip channel. It's people are hungry. People want money, and most of the people that are saying bad things about other people, they've tried saying good things about people and nobody watched. So it is more of, do I suffer being a good person, or do I become a bad person and eat? So it's more like of a hunger. Because there's a time in my life where I would have done anything for money. It's not good to suffer. Not that it's good what they are doing, but sometimes hunger pushes us to that, especially in South Africa. Because people are not employed. There are no jobs. And people will do whatever it takes to
make money.
There's this other girl, my PA, she says to me yesterday, you know what, I've realized that this talking bad about people works. I'm going to start introducing and I'm going to say, Ndivhu T and the husband's car has been repossessed in the house. What? I'm like, and she's like, people are gonna watch.
I'm telling you, they are going to watch.
So for me, it's more about people are struggling.
True.
People are struggling,
and also people are going through a lot. You know.
Yeah.
Them saying bad things to other people makes them feel better about themselves. I guess. You know.
It does.
But nah, guys, stop, please. It's not cool.
Sterame wants you to stop.
Please
stop. And I feel like before you even film talking about a person, just remember it's a human being.
Exactly.
It's somebody's mother, it's somebody's child, it's somebody's, So be nice. Like I feel like you can say negative things constructively.
And you know one thing I like about your channel, your gossip channel, the way you report. Number one, you're not biased. You're not blasting anyone. You're just reporting what's happening.
And then you have your own opinion.
And exactly. So when I listen to your videos, I don't say Ndivhu likes this person or Ndivhu doesn't like this or Ndivhu's being mean to this person. No, that's one thing I like about your channel.
Yeah, for me, it's always, I always have to remind myself that celebrities are human beings. And I love the fact that I always get that, like you would see celebrities commenting like what DJs will and for me it's because of they see how I report. No matter how bad of a story it is, I always try to always have like positive in it, like it's not about bashing a person.
And I love this part about your video, and I love you. It's so calming.
I know, but some people are like, no, we are tired.
No, I love it. Like literally I'll be listening to somebody passed away, wada, and I'm just like, oh. And then we say, I love him, just like, oh, I love him.
And you know what's funny? Most of the time when I'm recording, my family's there. And by that time, everybody will be saying, I love you. They'll be saying it with me. Like they know.
That's literally heartwarming for me, personally.
Yeah.
Okay, the last one.
Okay. Never have I ever had my English word pronunciation being corrected by my child. All the damn time. And with me, it's even worse because when I started YouTube channel, I couldn't speak English. I taught myself English. I literally had to watch. I couldn't speak English. And I struggled also with my roommates. In Venda, I went to government school wherein you get taught English in Venda. Like, the glassy, They wouldn't say this is a glass.
The table,
And when I moved to Pretoria, my roommate was Xhosa.
Oh, okay.
And the only language we could speak was English. So I would watch YouTube videos. How do you pronounce this? Even today I still struggle on my videos every single day. There's no day that I don't get corrected.
You're doing so well, Ndivhu. Wow.
It's when you don't have an option. Had I had an option 3 years ago, I would have quit YouTube. The way they would bash me. Don't say, I remember I once said the word debut, I said debut. And I said it with so much confidence because I thought that's how it's, Like I was reading English, I was written. And they came for me. Hey, you don't even know how to say 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
hey,
my word.
But I always say, as long as I'm laughing all the way to the bank.
Exactly.
So English is not helping me with anything.
It's not.
But I'm much better now. And yes, my kids correct me every time.
My son does it all. I just remember that TikTok video. Mommy, it's who's Kev? It's not a Kev, it's Curve. Kev is the name of a person.
I always also get corrected with the word bed, like bed for sleeping and bed for flying.
Yeah.
I say the same bed.
Yeah.
They're like, no, this one is a bird. This one is a bed. I'm like, as long as you hear what I'm saying. But yeah.
No, Ndivhu, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming through. This has been amazing. The game as well was fun. Your story was inspiring, and guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Yes, don't forget to like this video and also comment down below if you've got any questions. And until next episode, bye.
And you must say, Kanti, if you want me back.
Guys, please comment down below if you want Ndivhu back. She must come back, okay?
Yeah, or if you have any questions, I'll come back and answer them.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ndivhu. Bye. Can you do the I love you together?
1, 2, 1, 2. And that's it for now, T Squad. Do leave your comments down below. I love you.
Oh, that feels so good. Bye, guys.